Talk about the differences between Big Body and Core Kid, because it seems, to make a cartoon reference, it seems like the Core Kid is the next evolution, of the Big Body. So talk about any similarities that there are and what the main differences are between Big Body and Core Kid.
Get out of my head, JJ. That's what I was gonna ask him. But go
um,
ahead.
Obviously the main difference is you'll look at Big Body Javi, look at the Core Kid, and Big Body Javi is much more colorful than the Core Kid for one. But I think something that um, I'm passionate about. Something I grew up an emo kid, or I grew up with a kid that liked wrestling. I was not I was a popular kid, but I wasn't cool. Like I didn't
Yeah.
there were kids. It's weird to say, but I was a kid that envisioned myself being someone that kids looked up to. That's just what I've always envisioned for myself. I've always, I grew up poor, and I always wish that there was I always wish there was somebody like me, that knows struggle, that knows, I think roadblock after I think life has thrown way too many roadblocks at me for success not to come from me. I think that's if there's so many people out there that don't, and I relate it to emo kids, but I also relate it to the dad that wakes up at 5 a.m. to go to a job that he hates because he has to put food on the table for his wife and his kids, or the mom who's, doing classes after raising her kids and going to work because she's still following her dreams. The people that didn't get a chance to continue following their dreams. I relate very much to that struggle. So I think that, and getting getting to the metalcore stuff, with metalcore lyrics are very much about introspection. They're very much about emotions. They're very
Yep.
much about real life things. Like my one of my favorite bands, Kill Switch, As I Lay Dying, both of those bands. If you read their lyrics, and I write my songs very similarly, are like poetry, and going on about the struggles that humans go through every day. And I feel like um, being vulnerable, which is something that I've been, better and better at in the public eye, anyways. But being vulnerable with people, I feel, is much more attractive or much more real to people than, you know, um, I don't want to hop from character to character. I want to, Core Kid Hobby, like is a character, but it's me at the end of the day.